Blessings, sacred sovereign soul. I am Lady Drasmin, and this is Dragom Oracle. If you are here live on TikTok, Tuesday Tarot, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are catching the replay in the YouTube members area, welcome. If this is your first time, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. Hi Sani, hi Tru, Kin, hi Val, hi Kins. Hi Molly, hi Sunshine, hi Parkin. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. So, we are in week 4 of our Soul Sanctuary online circle. This is day 1, and day 1 we look at tarot. The theme of the week is energy. And oh boy, is the energy intense and fiery or what? We have a new moon in Leo. We have Mercury retrograde in Leo. We have a Leo season coming in hot this week. The energy of transformation is on point. Welcome, Lori. Welcome, Brown. Welcome, Beer. Welcome, Kamis. Welcome. So, let's dive into what this energy is about, right? Because welcome Desiree, welcome Paula, because this energy is really intense right now. We've been building up to this for the last couple of weeks. A lot of our foundations and cores have been rocked. And this new moon in Leo is a self-love wake-up call. I mean, the Leo energy is all about pride in self. It's all about how we show up for ourselves. Okay, it is ruled by Venus, which is the goddess of beauty and love and wealth. And so this new moon in Leo energy is saying like, yo, it's time for you to step into the spotlight of your own life and be the main character of your story. And it's especially intense because we have Mercury retrograde in Leo. And Mercury retrogrades are famous for self-reflection, for revealing truths about expression. And this one is especially illuminating power dynamics. So in the name of self-love, in the name of love, where are we giving power away? Where are we in power plays? Where are we still not taking responsibility of our own personal power and the impact that has? Where we are still standing in privilege? There's a big question that's coming up for the collective right now is where are you standing in privilege instead of presence? Where are you performing instead of being? So you're being asked to reevaluate your personal relationship with self and your relationships with others, and the true intentions behind how you show up to yourself and how and why you show up for others. Let's pull some cards and see what else Spirit has to say. Hi, everyone. Welcome, Brianna. Welcome, Sarita. Yes, I will do some personal pulls after the collective messages, so stay tuned. Temperance comes out. And temperance in between the temperance and the devil card, right? So there's a breaking away from the addictions. And addictions are more than alcohol and booze and overworking, right? Addictions are also to stress. You're like, wait, what? What do you mean an addiction to stress? Let me explain. Like, your nervous system has been so hardwired to struggle, to be doing things last minute, to always be scrambling, right? To struggle, that the idea of not struggling and still having everything that you desire and more is so foreign to you that you subconsciously continue to attract and create situations that keep you in struggle. And breaking away from that is not easy. We're talking multi-generations of addiction to dysfunction. Because when you finally refine your systems, refine your flows, refine your routines, efficientize your life, then you have all of this free time to play. Well, play includes engaging the inner child, which involves facing all the feelings that the inner child hasn't felt. Right? Like, children will cry and then they will play, unless they're beaten into obedience. The natural way that a child evolves is they cry, they're fed, they cry, they get their needs met, they cry, they learn how to communicate their needs, they get their needs met, they play. The curiosity of children is so important to continue cultivating. The curiosity of innocence, rather. It's not limited to children. Okay, welcome Linda, welcome Drew, welcome Paula, welcome Samantha. So this Leo energy is very playful as well, right? Leo is all about fun. Leos throw incredible parties. They're always the center of attention, right? So it's about wanting to be the center of attention in your own life, and also wanting to be the center of attention in the lives of other people, and that's okay too. However, we must recognize that there has to be balance. We can't do it as a way of control, or that's going to come back and bite you in the ass. We can't do it as a way to not request our needs, like, oh, if I do this, I'm naturally going to get this back. That's a power play. We have to be clear on what we desire, what our needs, and what our boundaries are. And if we're not, we can ask questions. And if we don't know how to answer them, well, time to sit with that. If someone doesn't answer the questions, okay, now they have an opportunity to sit with the question and discover what does balance, including play into that, look like. And that has several steps to go into that, right? Because we have to unlearn what we've learned to learn what is true for self. Thousands and thousands of years of learning how to be in a certain way has created this stagnation and stuckness. It's that final breakthrough, beloved one. It's that final breakthrough, okay? It's the final breakthrough where you finally gained power with rather than power over. Emperor card. Emperor between the Emperor and the Hierophant. When you finally stand in the position of, I have the power only over myself. And even that, sometimes you don't have control over. Like, you gotta pee, you gotta pee. You gotta poop, like, pray your butthole sphincter is, like, in good working order, or you're gonna have explosive diarrhea. You know? So it's like, this is the medicine that's coming through for the collective right now. I have great power and I control very little. And what I do have control over, I need to keep in tip-top shape at all times to be thriving in the being human experience. And I can choose what my challenges and difficulties are. We all have struggles. We all have difficulties. But we don't have to continue perpetuating the excessiveness of the struggle and the difficulty that we are in, the shared being human experience. Hi, Ebony. Thank you for the likes and hearts and comments. Thank you, everyone, for your likes and hearts and comments. So we have the Temperance, the 1-4. Then we have the Emperor, which is the 4. And then we have the 2 of Swords. Clear decisions. Use the firepower of this Leo energy. Use the firepower of Mercury retrograding in Leo. Mercury rules the mind. Mercury rules communication. Mercury rules personal goals. Okay? It is also like a fluid energy. So can you recognize that consent is a living practice that can go from yes to no and back to yes and then I don't know, and all of that is okay? What is your decision in this moment? Eldest children, if you need to move away from your family and cut them off because that is what is required of you right now to finally break that blood bond that has kept you in karmic loops, that has kept you trapped in spells, words cast, spoken, passed down to the bloodline, then this is your permission coming through from your higher self saying, yes, it's time for you to move and leave the dead weight behind. Because if you don't prune a tree, if you don't prune a plant, it'll end up suffocating the whole plant and killing it. In the same way, you are being asked to prune the dead weight of your life right now. And that might look like family and friends and hobbies and things you really love. Nostalgia is keeping you caught in your own personal hell. Four of Swords, between 4 and 5. Can you surrender the grief? Can you surrender the rage? Can you surrender the anger? Can you surrender the discomfort? Can you surrender the resistance? Can you surrender the withholding? Can you surrender the silencing? Can you surrender the fear of unworthiness? Can you just let it all down? Look, 2 swords cards, 2 of Swords, 4 of Swords. So heavy in the mind space right now. Yeah, understandable. And we can all bring it back with the simple choice of love. Can I love all that I am experiencing in this moment? And embrace it as part of my divine human experience. I was having a conversation with a priestess, sister, and business ally earlier today. And I was telling her about how I was struggling with bitterness. I have been through so much shit in my life. And what I've been alchemizing over the last few weeks is the energy of fairness. Like, it's just not fair. It's just not fair. And then guilt and shame arising around the feeling of fairness. Like, it's not fair what I've experienced through the severity and the continued degree that I have continued to experience it. Last week, I was having a conversation with the soul brother, and he's like, yeah, I've been in this dark night of the soul for 5 years. I'm like, really? I've been in it for 13. I've been in this dark night of the soul for 13 years. With little reprieves and pockets of light and glory here and there, and then boom, just fucking comes crashing down. And I know a big part of it has to do with the environment that I'm in, the state that I'm living in. It's very close to my Pluto line on my astrocartography, so I know this is a space of immense transformation and rebirth for me, pushing me into my life purpose, helping me step into my highest timeline, what I committed vows into 8 years ago. 9 years ago now. I don't know. Time is just slipping away. The point is, I've been in this dark night of the soul for 13 years. I'm fucking tired. Okay? Like, just speaking as a human here, fuck this shit. Okay? And I'm also divine. So how can I honor that this is part of my evolution as a consciousness? How can I honor that this is all part of a sacred work of supporting the new now earth timeline that wants to anchor, that holds the union of Yeshua and Mary Magdalena? Because this is ultimately what we're coming into. This age of Aquarius is unlike anything any of us have ever known through any timeline. Okay? Because first there was creation, there was the mother energy. Okay, then there was an infection, And then that went into patriarchy and distortion and destruction. Okay. And then we have the bringing in of the Christos codes that happened over thousands of years. And then came the birth of Jesus and his embodiment of the resurrection and the ascension codes, which esoterica teaches about, the Ra codes, the Sun Ra codes. And then we have Yeshua ascending into his light body, walking off into his light body, and Mary Magdalena stays. There was no union for them. She had to take in and command the masculine presence while embodying her feminine presence. And thousands of years have passed, and now we are shedding the identity of holding and embodying both the masculine and the feminine energy. Now we are coming into divine union of that energy within and releasing the power control of what has been needed for us to arrive at this point where now we shift from the Piscean era to the Aquarian era. And now we come into divine union within and we restore the divine, sacred family, holy family externally. This is why there are black sheep. This is why families are being broken and reshuffled into place. This is why there's been so much isolation, but the time of isolation is over. Now we got to get out of isolation and come back into co-creation. That means really looking at whether the work that we have done in the soil of our soul has been actually true. And it is, or you wouldn't be here. Like, hello, listen, okay? Stop thinking that you have more digging in the foundation to do. Now it's about nourishing and planting seeds in that foundation that you have been working on for yourself for so long. This is what the refinement is about. This is what this reevaluation is about. This is what this retrograde energy is about. I talked about Saturn retrograde in Aries last week, and the message was so intense that I had to re-upload it 3 different times. I had to go through multiple different systems, and eventually I was able to get a clean copy uploaded the 3rd time. We also have Uranus and Gemini. We have Chiron going retrograde at the end of the month. Oh shit, that's really going to bring those unresolved traumas and wounds up to the surface. And it's also going to provide us an opportunity to like bring more of that into peace, because Chiron, the wounded healer, is just an open wound that you live with, okay? Like there's no closing of your Chiron wound. My Chiron wound is my feminine energy. It's around my home. And it's what's being fucking heavily attacked. Especially for the last few years. And I'm like, this isn't fair. So I was having this conversation with the sister about like holding this energy of, alchemizing this energy of unfairness and feeling bitter and a bit disbelieving of like, is this really gonna like end this season? Because I feel it. I feel change, even though it looks like all destruction right now. I feel change. And at the same time, I've been in this earth school for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. I've done this earth school so many times. You'd think it'd get easier. You would think that it would get easier. And yet here we are in this perfect moment, because now we are starting to see the result of our hard work. 7 of Pentacles. Now we're starting to see that the next stage is in co-creation and collaboration, and that we have to put down our defensiveness. We have to put down my way. We have to start looking at the we way. Okay, these are my needs and boundaries, and this is where I can meet you, and this is where your needs and boundaries are. That's what the Holy Trinity is about. It's about the oneness and the oneness coming together. And there's still a oneness, but the togetherness creates another oneness. That's what the Trinity is. So we're restoring, Justice card flips over as I say restoring. We're restoring balance within our lives. And come Libra season, you know, we're really going to see the effects of the choices that you make right now. Like Two of Swords is in the middle of the reading today. The choices that you make now will reveal the results in the Libra season. Okay? The divine masculine is rising. The divine feminine has been rising. And now there is an equal meeting of many of these divine masculines and divine feminines coming into the physical reality, because the time is now. Queen of Cups, the time is now to express and share that unconditional, healthy, holy love. That doesn't mean that we allow disrespect. That doesn't mean we bypass, you know, the human experience. And that's what ultimately my conversation this rising with the sister came to. It's like, can you hold those bitterness as those fine lines that keep you in alignment? Because without the lines, there's no separation between me and that wall over there, me and you, me and this card, right? Like we're all just expressions of the same element. Like this is an expression of the same elements that I'm made of. Like this is also made of carbon, and as am I. So it's like, can you see that there is no separation, and yet the separation, the differences that we are is so vital to the cohesive wholeness. And so it's all perfected wholeness. All that you are is perfected wholeness. And you don't have to accept what you're experiencing. You don't have to accept the struggle. You don't have to accept anything other than this deep inner knowing that you exist, and that is enough for you to be nourished by life, for you to be loved by life. Can you see that you are literally an expression of life's love for itself? Sacred ones. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed. It can only change shapes from one form to another. And fire is the ultimate transformation. It is the ultimate shift from one form to another. Whether that's creation or destruction, well, that's your choice. That's your free will. That is your biggest gift in the human experience, is your free will. And nothing can interfere with that except you. Nothing has power over you. Nothing can take away your peace. Nothing can delay your blessings except for you and what you allow. I do not accept the silence of 13 years while I've continued to pour into myself, into my legacy. And it's like, I will not allow the environment to dictate the restoration of this divine flow within me. And so you are being asked to look at the truths of your relationships, the power figures in your life, the decisions that you make, to really like not be making big decisions right now, especially not impulsive ones. Let me tell you, 3 days ago, I was ready to like book a one-way trip to Bali and say, fuck it. And I didn't, because I'm aware of the energies that I'm in. And I also realized like I would love to go to Bali. I've been waiting to go to Bali for a few years. And I want to go because I'm going for a vacation, not because I'm running away from how fucking difficult life is right now. Like we're not in this timeline of running away from our responsibilities, our ability to respond to our free will choice to engage or disengage. So I'm going to close today's share with a card from the Earth Magic to ground us all in. And I would love to know, share in the comments, tell me about what part of you are paying most attention to at this time, and how. What aspect of you, okay? If you look at yourself in the mirror, who's looking back at you? That's the question. When you look at yourself in the mirror, who's looking back at you? Wind. And then breathe life into who is looking back at you. And blow away what you don't want to carry forward, and breathe life into what you are choosing to carry forward. Or invite something brand fucking new. Look, invite. As I say that, I pulled an invocation card, okay? So, what practice for this week ahead? And we're going to dive deeper in the Soul Sanctuary Circle online. It's a pay what you can membership offering starting at 99 cents. We meet 4 days a week, 4 weeks a month. Suggested value is $44.44. Pay what you can. The requirement is your consistency, your commitment to yourself. Okay, so this week, as we are navigating this transition into the Leo season, settling into Mercury retrograde in Leo, preparing for the new moon in Leo. Oh my gosh, so much fire energy. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself who's looking back at you. And what you're not a fan of, blow it away. What is a part of you that you're not a fan of, anchor it in with love. And then breathe life into the new, into your refined identity that is being recalibrated and reactivated and anointed for you right now. Look, I pulled a new moon card of promise for a new moon. This is a practice that I've been doing for this energy and this alignment right now. Very powerful this week, especially to be done by Friday sunset. So this is a time-sensitive practice, even though these messages are timeless. Timeless. Write down everything you used to want to see in your dream home, in your daily life, in your legacy, in your partners, partners, multiple partners. Sure, why not? With your children, with your business, just write it all down. Put in your order. Cosmic Data Universe is asking you to put in your order to the details, my bish. Yes, Willow. That's right, Sparkle. Sparkle on, Marcia. Welcome, B. So, these are the oracle messages. Wind, activation, breath work, super important this week. Blowing away what doesn't belong to you. Breathing softly and integrating what is a part of you because of life experiences, you know, it just is the bitterness that I've been experiencing. It's just a part of me now. It's the consequence of all that I've experienced. And it's okay. I'm working on it. And then invocation, life as ceremony. Breathing life, breathing intention. Bringing presence into your daily choices and actions. And then new moon, promise. Writing it all down and receiving it every day. Living your life in it every day until it is. Because as you think, so it becomes. As you think, so it becomes, through your choices and actions and non-actions. You are your own sanctuary. And so you can create from the sanctity and safety of the sanctuary within you, within your sovereignty, anything and everything that you desire. Thank you so much for being here today. Those who have been present here live, thank you for joining me. Those who are catching the replay, thank you for being here. Thank you everyone for your comments, your likes, your hearts, your shares, your donations. Those of you who are a part of the Soul Sanctuary Circle, so grateful to have you in this space with me. And our next meeting is Wednesday at 11 a.m. We'll be doing some wisdom teachings. And this week, I'm guided to share with you some practices on how to befriend the ego, E-G-O. So join me over on YouTube, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bless. Take care of your beautiful selves. Bye for now.